Hey YouTube, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about the Tesla breakout, the story that has the main headlines going crazy right now. But if you've been following along with some of the talks that I've had about Tesla, especially a video I did a few weeks ago comparing Tesla to NIO, you would already be prepared for this specific situation. So today we're going to dive right into it, take a deep analysis in the fundamentals and also the technicals and everything that you need to know to see whether or not you should be getting into the Tesla breakout now or maybe at a later time. So before we get into it, as always, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification so you get notified every time we have new content coming out for you. And let's get into it. All right, welcome back. So just to get started here, I wanted to show both the Tesla and NIO, just like we talked about in the last video. Today we're going to be focusing specifically on Tesla, and we're going to be doing an in-depth analysis of it. But I just wanted to highlight this in case anybody missed that first video I did on Tesla and NIO. The whole consensus was Tesla is definitely the better fundamental play, but NIO at the time was looking better from a technical perspective. So let's get into it. We're going to work our way from left to right. I just wanted to have the two highlighting here. That way you can see the compare and contrast, and then we'll dive more into Tesla. So just jumping right into it, we have the value, which we can see both stocks are clearly overvalued. Tesla by a factor of almost 4, NIO by a factor of almost 10. So even though they're both overvalued, Tesla's less overvalued, if that makes sense, which is definitely a good thing for a retail investor to be aware of. Just means you're paying a premium price for a premium stock at the moment. The next four indicators, the RV, RS, RT, and VST, are all cast on scales of 0 to 2. And the reason we do this is to make it easy for you out there to help you make faster, smarter, and better decisions for yourself. So clearly we can see on a scaling of 0 to 2, Tesla has all above 1, so those are definitely favorable. Below 1s come down to the NIO, which means they're unfavorable on the fundamental level. But then we look at the technicals, and clearly, NIO has a stronger short-term price uptrend right now, which is shown by the RT of 1.57, whereas Tesla's 1.31. So that was the whole thesis before. But today, we finally got the confirmation that we've been looking for, so we're going to focus on Tesla more so here. What I'll do is just get rid of NIO for now. Just wanted to point that out because there was some confusion with that last time. So I wanted to make sure we were clear on that. And now let's get into the Tesla analysis. So VectorVest makes it simple. As an individual retail trader, you're told that you have to go through spreadsheet after spreadsheet and tons of data out there that really make it confusing for the individual, especially if you're not a finance major or if you're not a rocket scientist. So VectorVest takes all that data out there that would typically take you hours upon hours to look at yourself and to analyzes it for you and puts it into 3 simple indicators. Once again, the RV, which is looking at the long-term potential, the RS, which is looking at the safety of the stock, and the RT, which is looking at the technicals of the stock. So if we go here, we'll go to the full stock analysis report, and we're going to walk through these indicators together and get an idea of what they mean for you. So we come down to the value, which the value is what we currently feel the stock is worth based upon forecasted earnings per share, forecasted earnings growth rate, profitability, interest, and inflation rates. Next, we get the RV or relative value. Once again, this is an indicator on the long-term price appreciation potential of the stock. This indicator is looking at a comparison of price and value because it's computed from an analysis looking at price appreciation potential 3 years out when compared to AAA corporate bonds and risk. So once again though, as always, VectorVest makes it easy for you, and we always put it on here so it has an RV of 1.69, which is excellent on that scaling of 0 to 2. That way you don't have to interpret what that means for yourself. And then next we come down to the RS or relative safety. And as I mentioned before, it's an indicator of risk. It's computed from an analysis of the consistency and the predictability of a company's financial performance. It's looking at things such as debt to equity ratio, sales volume, business longevity, price volatility, and a few other factors. So Once again, on a scaling of 0 to 2 at 1.4, this is an excellent safety score for you. Then we get down to the timing, which the timing before was lacking a little bit, but now we've seen that change with the technical breakout that we'll look at in just a second. So RT once again is looking at that short-term price trend. It's computed from an analysis of the direction, magnitude, and dynamics of the stock price movement day over day, week over week, quarter over quarter, year over year. So therefore, this makes it an even smarter technical indicator than anything else out there. Then all three of these are comprised to come up with our master indicator VST, standing for value, safety, and timing. It's something you will not find anywhere else. Most places out there only focus on the technicals or only focus on the fundamentals. Well, VST gives you a great overall perspective from both a fundamental and a technical basis, all summed up into one to make your decision process even faster. And as always, we can see the VST rating of 1.45 tells us it's excellent on that scale of 0 to 2. Now, if you're somebody who loves going over data, as always, you can find more of that data here, such as earnings per share, PE ratios, earnings yield, earnings growth rate. Lots of information can be found here. But if you're somebody like me that wants to just keep it simple, VectorVest does all that analysis for you and breaks it down into these simple, easy to read indicators here. So as we can see, Tesla has great long-term potential. It has phenomenal fundamentals, so that means less risk associated with it because they're growing their earnings quarter over quarter, year over year. And also now the timing is starting to pick up, which we'll see more in a visual sense in just a second. So with that, let's go ahead, get out of here, and we'll jump right into the technical analysis of this. So hopefully you guys understand now a little bit better on the fundamental analysis here that we don't need to get into balance sheets. We don't need to do all that. We'll keep it simple for you. And before we jump into the graph, let me ask you, are you planning on buying this breakout? Is Tesla a stock that you're interested in getting into? Or is it a stock that may be out of reach because of its price range? Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that. All right, so getting into the chart, all we have to do is click on the graph all button at the top. And here we can see that downtrend that we talked about in that last previous video. This is something that I was a little concerned with because at the time we were trading well below this downtrend line. From a technical perspective, that is not a good sign. That means it's lower highs and lower lows. Well, we saw a floor coming in, a double bottom here essentially, right around 550 roughly. And then since that point, we were noticing higher lows being formed, not quite higher highs yet. And this is something I pointed out for you guys if you're interested in Tesla to keep an eye on. Because we do notice higher lows, and higher lows tends to lead to higher highs. And over the last 2 days, we saw a run up, a big run up, especially yesterday, pushing us right towards that downtrend line. And today we're noticing that breakout out of that downtrend line, meaning a new uptrend is starting to form. So this is all great, right? You may be saying, oh, awesome. I'm definitely going to be jumping in right now. I'm definitely going to be jumping in tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning at the open. Maybe you're putting in a pre-market order, whatever it may be. But hold on for just 1 second. I want to bring everybody's emotional level down and focus on a systematic approach here. Here at VectorVest, we are firm believers that one day doesn't make a trend. So even though we broke out today, that is a strong sign, and that's definitely a sign that you need to add it to your radar if it's not already on there. But we don't jump in on the day it broke out. As you can see, it got right up to that 700 level, and then since the second half of the day so far, it's been pulling back a little bit. This is a cause for concern. If you're looking to jump in on the breakout day, one, you want to get in as early as possible so that way you're closest to that low point for the day, especially if the open is the low. But if you're going to be swing trading this or holding this as a long-term position, you want to wait for a little bit more confirmation. So here's a few tips of what to look for if you're interested in getting into Tesla. What you're wanting to see is a strong close by the end of the day. What that means is you want to see us trading towards that upper end of today's candle. Right now we're about 50% through that candle, so we want to see a strong finish. And then secondly, wait till tomorrow. You know, if it jumps a couple of bucks here or there, it's not the end of the world. I'd rather have a little bit more consistency and a little bit less risk than jump in and increase my risk and potentially take a bigger loss. So essentially giving up a little bit of profit for the ability to have more consistency and more predictability in your choice. So look for tomorrow to move higher. And then if it does move higher, that could be a good entry point. That gives you follow through from today's breakout. Now, what does follow through mean? Typically, we're waiting to see about 30 minutes to an hour after the market opens. We want to see the stock trading above the high of today's candle. So right now, at this time, the high is 697.62. So essentially, we want to see it trading above 700 to get that strong confirmation that this stock is not just a pop and then going to drop back down to retest this trend line, but a pop and then getting follow through and moving higher, sparking more investors' interest into this stock. Now, as always we say here at VectorVest, volume is conviction. Well, what that means is looking at today's volume, it is definitely showing strong conviction to the breakout currently. It's higher relative than what it's been trading at recently. So you look close to, the last week, maybe week or two, and we can see a lot higher volume today than we've seen over the last couple of weeks. That is a good sign. Now tomorrow for the breakout, we want to see a continuation with that volume, telling us that more and more people are getting in. So this is the breakdown of Tesla. Hopefully you guys learned something from today's content, and let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. So until next time, take care, adios, toodles.